Tonight is just all about hearing about our stories from the African American male perspective. All the gentlemen here currently work in the district. We have new staff, and we also have some gentlemen that grew up in the district and have come back to work with us.
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to work in U46 because, to be honest, I grew quite fond of the place. And like these two gentlemen here, we were used to a time where, I came out in '92. So we didn't have none of what's going on now, but so we were used to, Friday nights at the football games, all Friday nights and Saturday nights at the basketball games. I played basketball in Elgin High, and so it was an experience that I will never forget, and now being an employee of the district, it's like, okay, and we want to see that come back to some degree. We know times have changed and so on and so forth, but nonetheless, we still want some of those things that help keep us together as a community.
I grew up, going through the school system, I was homeless. Like in middle school, nobody knew. Kim didn't know, Dayvon didn't know, nobody knew. I had too much ego, too much pride, and I really needed the help, but I was too scared to tell somebody. Like, I didn't have nobody that I could connect to. I didn't connect to anybody in high school at all. Like, it was no one person that I could go to that I felt comfortable enough telling, like, my situation. So I came back to the district because I can be that. I've been through so much, I can be that person. That's why I'm in this, like, I dress the way I dress. I got all the tattoos. Like, I'm the person that the kids like in school. Like, they come to me, you're the cool dean. Like, you got all the shoes, you got all of this. And they tell me everything, though. Like, and they feel so comfortable with me. So that's the reason I came back to the district.
I would say for me, it's just the inspiration, just wanting to inspire the youth, wanting to help them grow, just somebody they can look up to and talk to and see that, whatever it is that they desire, they think they can't become or do, they got to hear that positivity. Somebody got to let them know that they can do it, that it's possible. And I think it just goes a long way when you got somebody in your ear that's feeding you that positivity versus somebody telling you that you can't do something. And then they go a different direction because they don't believe that they can, become something great or do the profession that they want to do and become. So that's where mine comes from.
Once I decided to go into education and go back to school and get my degree in school social work, and we live here still, so I always do, and I'm gonna come and do what I can to work for the district. My wife works for the district, she's also a product of the district. So we just, and kind of like what these gentlemen said, I wanted to be somebody who I needed, and pay it forward, even though I had some great people, who helped me through the system to become who I am today. But again, I just really wanted to pay it forward, and why not, in the town that raised me and that gave me so much.
I was working for Kraft Foods and their cold storage. And I'm gonna excuse my language, it was cold as hell in that room. I didn't want to work in that room, and I was actually busting my tail because all I wanted was a quarter raise. And they gave me a dime raise. And I look back and I'm like, this is not for me. There was a letter that came from my younger brother. We're 10 months apart. He got a letter from Jackson State University asking him to apply. And to this day, my brother probably don't know this. I found the letter and I said, this is not for him, it's for me. I filled that letter out, and it was an admissions letter asking him to apply. I applied. My sister had a typewriter, and I sat at the typewriter that day, and I typed up this letter because I had taken computer, whatever courses in school, and I typed up the letter, and I sent it to the school along with a letter that said, if you give me a chance, I will not fail you. If they give me a chance, I will not fail you. I went to Jackson State, and I left Jackson State after my first year with a 3.75 grade point average. My wife was attending Illinois State, and I was missing her, and I was missing home, and I just needed to transfer. And I transferred to Illinois State, and you mentioned something about culture shock.
It's a culture shock there.
First time I'd ever went to school with Caucasian individuals. It blew my mind. I don't know what I didn't know what was happening, how to deal with it, what to deal with. I'm in the classroom with different individuals, and I'm like, how did this work? What do I do? Man, this is different. I flunked out. flunked out. I went from a 3.75 to another 1.75 GPA again. But I sent a letter to another professor who was there, and he was running the Multicultural Center. He was, I guess, the director. And I said, if you get me back in this school, I promise you that I will not fail you. He got me back in the university, and I have 4 degrees today. I have 4 degrees today. I have a bachelor's degree in political science, I have a master's degree in social work, I have a second master's in education, and I have a doctorate degree in education. So education, I didn't find education, it found me, and I'm happy to be here in Elgin.
Education for me was the fastest way out of poverty. Grew up in Robert Taylor's, and then went to the west side. South side of Chicago, West Inglewood. So if anybody knows Chicago, you know Austin area. You guys know that area is very similar to it, riddled with gangs and drugs and so forth. So sports helped me out. Those 2 individuals helped me out. But then as I got to college, it was one thing that I wanted to be able to balance it out, because one of the things in education is that it's heavily dominated by women. And so at least 82% of the professionals in the district that I left were women. And I just made it, I made it a point to be able to give some sort of guidance to and be a role model for other males. I love women. I understand that your role in our society, but men need to see men to be men. Education is the fastest way out of poverty, the safest way out of poverty, and so that was my emphasis in terms of my desire to be in education. I've been here since August 15th, and one of the things I express is that I want kids to focus on what they can do. Like, I can do this, I can do this, and even having these conversations to adjust the mindset and the pedagogy of the staff in the building. Like, let's focus on what kids can do and what they're able to do. If we start there, then we can develop that sense of belonging. The other part is, for me at least, is to make sure that I'm building a space where kids can have errors and they can make mistakes, and they can fail and then learn from their failures and misconceptions. Once kids see that you are allowing them to not be perfect, they'll want to belong and want to be there.
Yes.
I made it a point to go to all of the practices for every sports that we've had, volleyball, girls basketball, boys basketball, just so I can see them in the morning, see their work habits, and then make those connections in the class when I'm in the hallway with them in the classroom. Like, hey, I saw how you hustled out there. I saw how you had teamwork. I saw how you made a mistake, but you went right back at it. And just applying those things to the culture of the school to let them know, like, you belong here. You can do this.
I think every once in a while, I feel like, our students of color can be challenged more. There can be a higher level of expectation. There can be skills that are built within them because they can do it, similar to what my brother was saying over there. And I think that's something that we're trying to work on as a district is how do we infuse that challenge, and then with that challenge, a sense of resilience. Yeah. Because the challenge is always difficult, but you gotta have that resiliency or resilience to be able to, overcome the challenges that are faced. So those are probably the 2, challenge and resilience.
I love it.
The kids ask me all the time, like, why do you care? They always ask me, they're like, why you care so much?
They always ask that.
Like, why you care so much? And it's because, like, I tell the kids, like, I love y'all. Like, even, especially the boys. No, because they don't hear it a lot. And especially,
tells them all the time, I hear it all the time.
Especially the boys, like, I always tell them, I'm proud of you, bro. Like, they're, Mr. Brown, I got a B. I told you could do it. And just a smile on their face, they be like, and they'll come to me like, and I reward them too. Like, hey, you need some shoes? I talk to their parents first, but I reward them for the stuff they do. Like, they do a good job, and like sometimes these people, I buy them some food, some fast food or something. But like me believing in these kids, like really changed their life, and they hate if I don't come to school, like they really have a problem with it. Like the belief,
they do.
No, for real, like the belief that I have in these kids, like, and some of these boys are like I can get through it, but like they'll cry. Like, I just tell them like, you need to cry, and they try to act so hard, and then they'll start crying. But then I become a go-to person for some of these boys who's so tough, you know. So just me believing in them, like they love that.
You know, at the time when I was a teacher, you know, I still have lists of students. I was the first black male teacher, and then most of them went through college, and I was the only. And I think, you know, that positively affects their lives. And now as a principal, I see it not just in my black students, but we had a student enrolled today. It's the parents too, and that comfort of being able to. Like as soon as I get this, and it actually feels good. Like as soon as I say, you know, they're like, I'm like, yeah, I'm the principal, and then they're like, this dad was like, this your new principal, like,
It's that safety and security.
And I think that welcoming of like, okay, I see myself, it's something good.
As a male student, I now have him in Brothers Rise Up. He's from Morocco. Last year, his mom called me. She didn't want him to know that I knew this. He was going through some identity issues. He asked his mom to buy him a perm for his hair because he was being teased because his hair had started to curl. And he did not want the kids to associate him with being black. And she called me up and said, Dr. Caldwell, I really need your help. I need your help to help my son. And I thought about it, man, how do I help this kid? And how is she putting this trust on me to deal with this kid? So I talked with him a little bit, shared with him about what my expectations were. And I asked him, I said, would you mind being a part of a group? I said, it's gonna be with African-American males, but would you mind being a part of this group? I met with him about 3 days ago, and he said, he's like, Dr. Caldwell, I love it. I love being a part of Brother Rise Up. He comes to me on Fridays and asks, are we meeting? Are we meeting? And I'm like, man, I don't know. If Mr. Cook walked through that door, I'm like, if Mr. Cook walked through that door, you're definitely having a meeting. But it's just, I want to just say, just me being there and being a presence makes a big difference in the lives of so many kids.
We don't even know how much impact we make on these kids. They had made me a Christmas video, like, with all these kids, like, they went around interviewing all the kids, like, how did Jimmy impact you? And like the stuff that these kids were saying, they surprised me too. Like they came into the ISI room and there was like 25 kids in there and they put this video on, like, everybody like, we love Jimmy and he helped me get through this. And I'm in there trying I got lunch. I gotta go get somebody lunch. I go out there and cry, but we don't know how much of a difference we make. But these kids, because I got a son that's in high school, and they have helped me realize, like, help me with my son, like how to be more patient with my son and understand the stuff he go through. Because I'm dealing with them every day, and I'm trying to be patient with them, to be lenient on them. Like I'm giving them breaks. Like I catch them doing stuff, and I'm like, man, you good. Like, but don't do it next time. But when I'm going home, I'm getting on my son. Yeah. So I have to. So this school is really helping me with my son to be understanding with my own son and like give him breaks because I be so hard on him, and I see like being here make me see how hard these kids really got it. So they help me too.
Just more black men. You know, we grow up, we want to be athletes, we want to be professional basketball players, football players. We want to be rappers, we want to be actors, we want to be all these things, but none of us never think about education or wanting to become a teacher, wanting to become a principal or any of those things. I think we gotta help our kids understand that there's so many different professions out there that they can get, that they may love, that they can learn about and know that they can become. Because a lot of them may look at that and think, man, I can't be no teacher. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I never ever thought I would ever become a teacher. Like, never crossed my mind growing up. Not until like 2 years ago. So, and I'm 38 years old. So I never thought about being a teacher. So that just goes to show you that we gotta really, open their minds up and let them know it's more out there. We all can't be professional athletes. We all can't be famous people. So I think that's the start right there. And we can get more of us, more blacks, that wanna be involved in education.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being here. Just give them a standing ovation for their amazingness. You all are wonderful.